Okay, so you've probably seen this acronym popping up all over the place. PEMF, Pulsed Electromagnetic Field Therapy. Today, we're going to cut right through all the hype and get straight to the facts. We're going to break down what it is, how it works, what the science actually says, and how people are using it in their daily lives.
Let's just start with this one, really simple but kind of powerful idea. Imagine for a second that every single cell in your body is like a tiny rechargeable battery. You know, daily life, stress, getting sick, all of that can drain its power. So what if you could just recharge them wirelessly without even feeling a thing? That's really the core idea behind PEMF.
Here's the roadmap for our quick tour. First, we'll cover what PEMF therapy actually is. Then we'll get into the physics of that pulse. After that, we'll follow the evidence. Super important. We'll look at PEMF in daily life, and then we'll wrap it all up with the bottom line.
All right, section 1. What exactly is PEMF therapy? Let's build this from the ground up, starting with the absolute basics.
So here's the definition in a nutshell. PEMF uses these really gentle, pulsing magnetic fields to create tiny, subtle electrical currents deep inside your body's tissues. The best analogy, honestly, is a wireless charger for your phone. The mat creates this invisible field, and your body kind of responds to it, usually without you feeling anything at all. You know, to really get what PEMF is, it helps to know what it isn't. You've probably heard of or even seen a TENS unit, right? They use those sticky electrode pads to send a buzzing electrical current right through your skin to block pain signals. While PEMF is totally different. It uses magnetic fields to get the job done, deeper inside the tissue, and because nothing is being pushed through your skin, you typically don't feel a thing. And this is another really crucial point. You see all those bracelets or mattress toppers with static magnets in them? Those create a steady, unchanging field. But with PEMF, the secret sauce is right there in the name, the P for pulse. The field is always changing, always in motion, kind of like gentle waves rolling onto a shore. And that change is what creates the biological nudge. A steady field, like a calm stream, just doesn't do the same thing. Okay, on to section 2, the physics of the pulse. So how in the world does an invisible field create a real physical effect? Let's dig into the physics, and I promise we'll keep it super simple. Here is the absolute key to understanding this whole thing. The secret ingredient is change. It's not really about how strong the magnetic field is, it's about how fast that field changes. This is a basic law of physics called electromagnetic induction. A pulse that changes really, really quickly is going to create a much bigger biological effect than a slow, gentle one. And this just lays it all out beautifully. It's really just a simple chain reaction. Step 1, an electric current flows through copper coils inside the PEMF mat. Step 2, that current creates a magnetic field that is constantly pulsing on and off, changing. And step 3, that changing field passes right through your body and induces those gentle microcurrents deep inside your tissues. That's it, from your wall outlet to a biological nudge. All right, now for what I think is probably the most important section of this whole conversation. We get the theory, but what does the actual science say? Let's take a really balanced, honest look at the evidence. I mean, this is the million-dollar question, isn't it? The mechanism sounds plausible for sure, but what happens when you actually put it to the test in the real world, in controlled studies? Does the whole idea hold up? So let's be really transparent here. The evidence for PEMF, it's not one size fits all. It really exists on a spectrum. Up at the very top, with high confidence, you have bone healing. We're talking about specific FDA-approved medical devices used for bone fractures that just won't heal. The data there is really strong. Then, in the middle, for things like osteoarthritis, pain, and sleep, the evidence is what I'd call promising but mixed. Some studies show modest benefits, but we definitely need more research. And finally, for those really broad, long-term wellness claims, well, the benefits are plausible, but frankly, the large-scale data just isn't there yet.
Okay, let's bring this out of the research lab and into the living room. How are people actually using this technology in their day-to-day lives? Let's look at the theory in practice.
So a pretty common approach is to match the session's frequency to your daily rhythm. For example, some people use a more energizing setting in the morning, around 8 to 12 hertz, to kind of prime the body for the day. A different program might be used for a quick break in the middle of a workday, or maybe a more calming frequency to help recover after a workout. And then in the evening, very low, slow frequencies are often used to help the body wind down and transition into a state of rest. And this brings us to what's really the golden rule for using this stuff. Consistency is way more important than intensity.
The goal is not some high-power blast once a week. Instead, all the reported benefits seem to come from short, regular, gentle sessions that just become part of your routine. Think about it like stretching. Doing a little bit every single day is so much more effective than one super long session every once in a while.
So, we've covered the what, the how, the evidence, and the practice. Let's boil all of that down to the single most important takeaway.
Honestly, if you remember just one thing from all of this, make it this idea. PEMF is not a magic bullet. It's not some aggressive intervention. It's a subtle tool. It's a gentle nudge. And the idea is to learn how to use that nudge thoughtfully and consistently to support your body's own natural processes for things like rest and recovery.
And that kind of leaves us with the big question, right? Is PEMF a helpful, gentle nudge that has its place, or is it really the next major wave in wellness? The good news is, now that you understand the principles, the evidence, and the practice, you're in a way better position to decide that for yourself. Thanks for joining us.